It is time for us to stand and sing.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need.
Joy.
Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Peace gives my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need.
Back to God. God is my source,
God is my source,
God is my power,
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings,
God gives me
everything I need.
God is my source,
God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Oh, don't you know it?
oh my goodness. Okay, we have liftoff. God is my source. That's a great way to begin, isn't it? So I welcome all of you that are here, visiting in person and visiting online. We welcome you, and we can feel your vibrations on the screen, and we're feeling the vibrations in here. Are you feeling it? I think even those little stuffed animals are putting out some energy. So let's just know that we are a center that welcomes all modalities. We welcome everyone wherever they are, soup to nuts, everything, however you feel, you can come in here and feel at home and know that we are nurturing your spirit, and we are lifting you up to a new higher consciousness that recognizes that God is my source. Are you with me on that? Yes. All right, thank you. And now I'm going to welcome Mark to share our announcements with us.
Is it on? Good, okay.
It's not on.
The red mic's not on? Yes, it is. Okay.
I don't hear it.
So good morning. And welcome here to all of those in our sanctuary and those who are watching online. We have wonderful activities for inspiration and connection coming up. And I think Reverend Mary welcomed everyone from soup to nuts. I don't think I'm nuts, although some people. Okay. Reverend Valerie will be teaching the certificated CSL class, the Essential Earnest Homes, on Zoom Monday evenings beginning February 26th. Information is available at the activities table. On Sunday, March 3rd, Reverend Mary will be facilitating a prosperity workshop from 12:30 to 2 p.m. following the Sunday service. If you're ready to create greater and lasting prosperity in your life and release the blocks to your success, then this is the workshop for you. So sign up today. Today is day 20 of the season for nonviolence. We have handouts in the foyer with 65 days of simple, inspiring, spiritual practice for you to use. This international event promotes a powerful way to heal, transform, and empower our lives, and honors the vision of Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi for a peaceful world. Today's practice is self-forgiveness, letting go of judging yourself. And as a judge, I have no objection to that. February is our Bears of Love month, and I see some bears are already showing up in the sanctuary, some almost my size. You are invited to bring new medium-sized bears into the sanctuary to get cuddled and filled with love. At the end of the month, they are donated to My Stuff Bags Foundation, who delivers them all over America for kids in a crisis. Our Science of Mind class is on Sunday mornings from 10:15 to 10:45. Join us for a taste of Dr. Ernest Holmes. Check your program for information about our 2 book study groups and yoga classes. More to follow. The choir will perform at the service the 31st of March. Rehearsals start March 3rd after the 11 a.m. service and continue every Sunday in March. That's the 10th, 17th, and 24th. An email has been sent to those on the choir list. Anyone interested in joining the choir, see Andy after the service. More to follow. The Men's Spirit Group meets Monday, 7 p.m. in the foyer. It is the 3rd Monday of the month, which is tomorrow. Our drumming circle will meet on Sunday, February 25th at 12:30 in Richelieu Hall. You will want to be sure that you have renewed your membership for 2024 so you can vote for our new minister and at our annual meeting in the spring. Members also get a discount on classes and bookstore purchases. Sign up at the front desk. It's only $35 for the year. The office will be closed on Monday, February 19th for President's Day. Join us for our informal, engaging midweek service on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Reverend Mary Morgan is speaking this Wednesday. Don't miss it. There's a flower dedication. You might see those 2 bouquets on the piano. The 2 bouquets of flowers are in loving tribute to Diane Vale Boyer, whose memorial was celebrated in the sanctuary yesterday, February 17th. Deanne is much loved and greatly missed by her son Daniel and dear friends. Now we have some meditation music to lead us into our invocation.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wake in these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in the silence I find God. I find God. I find myself. So let's take a deep breath in and know that in the silence there is peace. There is perfect love. There is joy. There is contentment. There is a sense of fulfillment. And right here and now, I know that this presence, this I am that I am, is here right now and always. And it envelops me, it guides me, and it protects me every step of my way. And I'm knowing in this service today, our hearts are open to receive the message, to receive the music, to receive the joy and the love and the celebration of life, of just being alive. And right in this moment, right here, all is well. I feel it through my body, and I know that my body hears every single thing that's being said. My mind opens up to new thoughts and to a new awareness of self-love, a new awareness of how to be in the world and feel really grounded and centered and comfortable in my own skin. And so as I release this prayer in this loving way, knowing that truly all is well, I am the peace of God expressing. I'm the love of God expressing. I'm the power of God expressing and the beauty of God expressing right here and right now as we release this, knowing that the law always brings back to us what we declare in mind and know as we affirm together, and so it is. So it is.
Thank you. Good morning. Am I on? Okay. Today, Reverend Mary is speaking about self-care. Last month in our spiritual discussion group, we addressed this topic, and we gave some consideration to whether engaging in acts of sacred service or making the choice to engage in self-care were necessarily mutually exclusive. How are we to know for certain whether or not that we're being selfish if we prioritize our own self-care need, our own physical, mental, and emotional needs, over the request to be of service to the present need of others? Alan Lux authored the book, The Healing Power of Doing Good, in which he documents the health and mental benefits of helping others through volunteering and through charitable giving. These benefits include the release of feel-good endorphins that increase the feelings of euphoria, strengthen our body's immune system, decrease our awareness of pain, enhance positive emotions, and reduce negative attitudes. If helping others produces such amazing benefits, why would we even hesitate to choose being of service to another over our own self-care need? Even if we're exhausted and overwhelmed? Even if we can't perform the service with a happy, loving heart? Even when we're running on empty? I remember Dr. Moira saying more than once, no one wants your fumes. right? But Christian religions of old have preached, just offer it up. Your reward is in heaven. But wait, Ernest Holmes tells us in the Science and Mind textbook that heaven is a state of consciousness, a consciousness of happiness, harmony, peace, joy. It's not some far-off place or some later destination that we only arrive at after we die. Heaven is very much a here and now state of being when we choose to align with it. But that's pretty difficult to achieve when we're overextended, overwhelmed, and stressed, with so much doing for everyone else that we're not being our best and greatest self. We are neglecting our own self-care needs. After all, isn't that the real meaning behind the flight attendant's instruction for us to put on our own oxygen mask first before attempting to help or assist others? Does it have to be either or? Or is true self-care finding a healthy balance in all the different areas of our life? If we are giving, in what way do we replenish and rejuvenate? If we're so fully engaged in a project for an extended period of time, in what way do we detach and recuperate? If we're engaged in some really serious work, in which way do we enjoy some laughter and some lighthearted activity? Each one of us probably has a different way that we choose to do this, that we choose to recover. But the important thing is that we do it, that we fill up our tank, because no one wants our fumes. Please repeat after me. Today I live life as my fully energized, effervescent self. And so it is. Please help me welcome up Lorne Wilkerson.
Good morning. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening skies. Let us march on till victory is won. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark path has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark path has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has taught us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Wow. Now we really do have liftoff, don't we? Thank you so much. Thank you, Andy. Thanks to our sound people, too. Good morning, everyone. I kind of changed the topic, if that's okay. Because, I didn't even remember that I said self-care, and where I immediately went to was self-love, because it felt so much deeper to me. I thought, well, you know what? That's where we're going with this. So, the most important relationship that you and I are ever going to have in life is the relationship that we have with ourselves. Get that? It's the foundation that we build everything else on. And if we go back to not loving ourselves, then we don't allow love in because we don't have the capacity, because it's not a real thing for us. So the most important relationship that we have is with ourselves. Now, I want you to think about your loved ones. Think about those people you feel really deeply connected to and love and warm and fuzzy about. You have your list? Are you on that list? Think about that. Did you put yourself on that list? Because you should have been there first. And that sounds crazy because I know when I was growing up, when kids really were talking big about themselves and really feeling good about themselves, we considered them boastful or conceited. Didn't we? We kind of said, oh, that guy's kind of full of himself, right? Well, guess what? We're all supposed to be full of ourselves. We're all supposed to be that energy. I love what Mae West says. She says, oh, I don't like myself. I'm crazy about myself. And that's what we should be walking around saying. I'm crazy about myself. So see, self-love is about self-appreciation. It is about a sense of well-being in ourselves. It's an affinity. It's a positive thought regarding yourself. You love yourself so much that you take care of yourself, and you care more about who and what you are being in the world. And then as a result, what happens? Cause and effect. It calls things in. Now, when you have a strong sense of self-love, you understand your own value. And then you understand your own value, people treat you at that level. Did you ever notice that? People treat you at the level that you treat yourself. So we teach people how to treat us. And how it is sometimes is just by the very energy. Now, we all probably have examples in our minds of people that have come into the room and you're like, now there's somebody. They know who they are. And the other people that kind of come in like this, right? We know the difference in the energy. We want to be the people that go, da, 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 I'm crazy about myself. Because think about it. We've been taught in this teaching, and from very times when we were very little, we're made in the image and likeness of God. We're made in the image and likeness of God. If you're made in the image and likeness of God, what are those attributes? What are those things? That's positive energy, that's love, that's compassion, that's empathy, that's energy, that's a fire that you bring to the world. You light it up with your fire. That's what it's about. But so remembering, God can only do for us what God can do through us. We have that famous saying, God can only do for us what he can do through us. But what does that mean? It can only come at the capacity of where we are. So if we're not feeling so hotsy-totsy about ourselves, we can't read the vibration of God coming in as the positive source. Now, Eric Butterworth has a lovely saying. He says, each of us have a direct pipeline to the universal goodness. Do you wake up and say that to yourself in the morning? Hey, I have a direct pipeline to the universal goodness, and I can express anything that it is that I desire, and I can create anything that it is I desire. And why is that? Belief and having faith in it. Now, when we have a faulty opinion of ourselves, when we go and we go to Spirit with a laundry list of all the things that aren't working, all the things we should have done, all the things we aren't, all the ways that we're kind of not cutting the muster, that we're not measuring up. When we go to that, what happens? We send out an energy vibration. It's an energy vibration that goes out there. And the universal law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, whatever you want to call it, it says, aha, you don't have a good opinion of yourself? You got this negative vibe going on and you're sending out this negative energy? What comes back to you? Everything on that negative plane. It can't help but do it because for every action there is a reaction. So that's why the moment you catch yourself thinking something negative, you want to shift right out of that. Where you are in consciousness has everything to do with what you see and experience. Where you are in consciousness has everything to do with what you see and experience. So it's the pair of glasses that you're wearing. It's that patina that you color the world with. If you see the world as negative or against you, or you see yourself as not being so great, guess what? It's all going to come back under that energy level because that's the way we're responding to life, and life responds to us in kind. One of our wonderful practitioners made a brilliant comment in class yesterday, our Annie Hoffman. And she had this beautiful saying that said, we can never manifest beyond our own self-definition. We can never manifest beyond our own self-definition. So think about it. If we don't love ourselves, how can we expect other people to love us? And if they do love us, at what level are they loving us? If we're only playing half-baked, then we're only going to get half-baked. Is that correct? It's just law of cause and effect. When you begin to see things from a higher perspective, the ever-present substance of God supporting everything that you do, why wouldn't you shift and say, I'm going to change into something really spectacular? So let's take a look at how can we create more self-love? Because we all know that we could bolster that a little bit, don't we? Now, Eckhart Tolle says, if you want to get an idea of self-opinion and self-love, watch your dog or your cat. And it said, they basically don't have an opinion, they just are, right? But when I watch my cat, Bo, groom himself, and he is so kind and loving. Have you ever seen a dog when they're licking their paw? They're so good to each other. Or my friends have several cats, like 5 cats. And those cats take care of each other and they groom each other. And they are so good to each other because they know. It's like, hey, you're the real deal. You're God expressing. You're the image of God right here and now. They may not be saying that, but in cat language, they probably are. They're probably saying that. So the first rule is you must love yourself before you can give or receive love of any kind. You must love yourself. So think about it. From a very young age, we're taught right from wrong. We begin pleasing people because we know that if we do good stuff, we get rewarded, and if we do bad stuff, we get rewarded in a different way. So we want to do good things, and we're looking outside for the answer. And understandably, when we're kids, we're learning that stuff. But once we get older, it's time to take hold of our own thinking. But a lot of times we don't. We look outside for everybody else to tell us who and what and how we are and how we measure up, right? So it's like if you don't have your own sense of self-worth, we look to everybody else to validate who and what and how we are. And boy, that goes down a slippery slope, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Because someone else's judgment of us has nothing to do with us. What's that Terry Cole Whitaker book, What You Think About Me Is None of My Business? Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Because we want to come from a sense of real centeredness in God, in spirit, in knowing. I'm the power and presence of God expressing. You know what? And if you don't like it, see you later. See you later. But guess what? Instead, we invite them to come to lunch with us and tell us all our bad misgivings, don't we? Or we listen to them. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, really? And then we should on ourselves as well. Because we doubt our own judgment, because we doubt our own gut feeling, our own intuition, right, about something, self-love becomes less important, and what everybody else out there says becomes way more important to us than what we think in our own hearts. And so then we get into our 30s or our 40s, or we get into right here in the sanctuary, and we go, I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. I don't know, right? Why does that happen? Because we've cut off our very source. And so it's all about going back to center. It's going back to listen to your own heart. Take care of yourself. Thich Nhat Hanh says, to be beautiful is to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to be accepted by yourself. Think about that. I know Louise Hay has that beautiful exercise where you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, I truly love you. Try and do that for a couple mornings in a row. It can be kind of difficult because you're looking yourself right in the eye and you're declaring the truth. And sometimes it smacks you right in the face, doesn't it? And you go, am I really, truly loving myself? And if I'm not, I better get a wiggle on. I better get going, because that's not who I came here to be, the less than version of myself. We discover that as we begin to love ourselves, we realize that the struggles and the mistakes that we were making, they were just pointers to show us, hey, you're off truth. You're off your own truth. Get back on course. And those little hiccups send us into the right space. You want to focus all your energy not on fighting the old patterns, but on discovering new ones. See, sometimes we want to fight the things that we're stuck with, but instead of that, we want to know, where am I really coming from? Where is my goodness? The most important aspect of truth is training our eyes to see properly. Training our eyes to see properly. See the goodness that's in you. You're loved not because you claim it over and over again. It's your inherent right. Right? You don't have to keep digging, I'm going to convince myself. Sometimes we do that, don't we? We talk ourselves into something. We convince ourselves. You don't have to. You're already it. You're already enough. You're already worthy. You don't have to convince yourself. We see things, again, not as they are, but as we are. We see as we are. So if we want to see properly, we have to see from that heart center, that God space that God sees us in. Think the kind of thoughts that you want to experience about yourself. Now, it's just as easy to see yourself as a success as it is to see yourself as a failure, isn't it? It's kind of however you get your perspective. So I have this lovely story for you. There was a businessman, and he had owned his own business, and he had created it from when he was very, very young, in his early 20s. And now he's in his mid-40s, and he's made some mistakes, and he's made some bad investments, and he's trusted people he shouldn't have trusted. And now debtors are calling. It's looking really bleak for him, and his lawyer is telling him, your only way out is you've got to file for bankruptcy. And he's just crestfallen. He's just, oh my goodness, this can't happen to me. This is the business I dreamed about my whole life since I was a kid. So he decides to go for a walk, and he goes to the park. And he sits down on a bench, and he's just got his head in his hands, and he's just like, God, there's got to be a solution. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be. And all of a sudden, he hears this voice, and he looks up, and this old man had walked up to him and said, I can't help but notice, you seem so distraught. Are you okay? And the guy goes, no, I am not okay. I had the business of my dreams, and I made some foolhardy mistakes, and now I'm supposed to file for bankruptcy, and I really don't want to. I don't know what to do. And the guy goes, I got it. With that, he reaches in his pocket and takes out his checkbook, and he writes a check. He folds it, and he hands it to him, and he says, now, I want you to take this check, and in a year from now, I want you to meet me at this very park bench, and I want you to pay me back what I'm loaning you right now. The guy's like, okay. So the man gets up and he leaves, and he goes, all right, I'll see you in a year. They shake hands. It's a deal. And he walks away. The guy opens the check, and he's like, $500,000. He's like, holy cow, this is fantastic. This will get me out of every pickle that I'm in. So he says, okay, you know what? I'm going to be really smart about this. So he goes back, and he puts the check in the safe at the business. And then he starts to decide, okay, you know what? Now I freed my mind up. I can make some decisions. I can make some new investments. I can make some new ideas happen. And knowing that he's got $500,000 in his safe that'll back him up if anything goes wrong. So now he's okay. And little by little, he starts to build his business back. And little by little, throughout that year, all of a sudden, he's right back where he was before it tanked. And so he's like, gosh, I can hardly go out and meet that guy and tell him I can give him that money back, you know. He never cashed it. So he brings the check, and he's sitting at the park bench, and sure enough, the man shows up, and he's like, oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important part. Who signed the check? John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller shows up in a park bench to this guy. So he's like, he didn't know it at the time, so he's like, I can hardly wait to see him. So John comes back, and he goes, I've got some good news. He goes, how'd it go? And he goes, I got some good news. I'm handing you back your check. He goes, oh, that's wonderful. And with that, he sees a nurse running down the sidewalk. And she's like, John. And she goes, oh, mister, I'm so sorry if he was bothering you. He is so convinced that he's John D. Rockefeller. And the businessman is just standing there in shock. And he goes, well, he really helped me. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Come on, John, let's go. And he goes, bye. John waves goodbye and walks away. And the guy learned, you know what? It was really how I was looking at things. And when I felt like I had this safety net, I could kind of do the creative thinking that I was used to, and I could build the business just the way I thought it should go, and I didn't have to listen to all those naysayers and people telling me other things. Now, how about you? How about you? Who do you listen to? Are you listening to the news? Are you listening to the radios? Are you listening to stuff? Because remember, the person that you listen to all day long is you. You know, they say we have about 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are negative. Isn't that kind of scary? Most of them are negative. So we want to shift those things and create affirmations, create things that are life-affirming and sustaining us rather than tearing us down. Because you look and you go, oh my God, my caboose, look at, oh God, I shouldn't wear that outfit, and oh God, she looks like a sausage in a casing, and oh my God. You know, you'll say stuff. You'll say stuff. You'll say stuff about yourself, right? You'll say stuff about other people, and you go, wait a second. What if I pull back on all that negative talk? What if I don't think like that right now? Who am I then? What can I bring to the world? What's the love, the special love that only I can bring to the world? What's that uniqueness that I'm bringing? So we want to also practice self-care. Now, practicing self-care is so important. That means, you know, my sister's having a spa day today with her girlfriends. I'm so jealous. They're in Chicago, and they're having massages and manis and pedis. And that's wonderful, and that's wonderful sense of self-care, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about honoring yourself. And when I talk about honoring yourself, I mean, you know what? How overwhelmed are you? How many times are you saying yes to stuff that you don't want to say yes to? Our lovely Ruthie Wagner has that beautiful saying, no is a complete sentence. How many times are you using no with conviction? Like, no, I'm going to take care of myself today. I'm not going to overstep, right? So we have to get selective. We have to explore. We have to think about what makes me happy? What makes my juices flow? What makes things perk up for me? What brings me that fire? What brings me that fire that I want to share with everybody? And then the other thing is that, did you know that 1/3 of the U.S. public does not get the recommended daily amount of sleep? Sleep. When was the last time you said, oh, go to sleep? Oh, just go to sleep. Go take a nap. Naps are underrated, I'm telling you. I am telling you, they are underrated. We need to sleep more. We need to rest more. We need something mental, spiritual, physical that restores our well-being. Give yourself a chance to restore your well-being, however you do it, however you think about it. You know, sometimes we care about our loved ones and take care of them more than we take care of ourselves. So think about it. You weren't on the list in the beginning of this talk. Are you on the list now? Are you taking care of yourself now? Also, we have to nurture ourselves with positive self-talk. That means saying the words that you want to hear, saying the words that affirm who you are. And I'm going to close with this little story because we can't leave without talking about chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Yes, that has to do with self-love. It does. Now, when I was growing up, my grandmother, she would make cakes for all the grandkids when it was their birthday, and you got to choose between devil's food and angel food. And she made them all from scratch, even the icing. Everything was amazing. I, of course, chose devil's food cake, being the child that I was. And so my brother chose angel food. Now, we've reversed roles. No, that's a joke. But he did. He chose angel food cake. But we all got to eat the cake. But I was like, I get my own cake. You were so excited. So, like everything in life, they did a study about chocolate cake. Can you imagine? I would have liked to have been on that, actually. So they broke it into two groups. There was the group that felt guilty about eating chocolate cake, and there was the group that felt joyous about eating chocolate cake. Now, when you think about chocolate cake, it brings up, like the gal was saying, it became a poster child for words like bad, I'm cheating, right? I'm cheating. Oh my, this is terrible. I've wrecked my diet. All these negative things. And the people that felt joyous about the cake, they were like, yay, it's a celebration. We're having a party. We're having a cake. And they felt very elated about it. And their mindset was positive, whereas the guilty folks, their mindset was negative. So then they did blood tests on them. And the blood tests of the guilty feeling folks, the cortisol level was off the roof. It was out of the world. It was so high. And we know that the cortisol level is the stress level. So the stress level was super high. And with the non-guilty feeling people, the cortisol level was perfectly balanced and perfect. And so also they realized that in the group, the folks that felt guilty about eating the chocolate cake gained poundage. The people that did not feel guilty did not gain weight. And they studied them for 18 months. I thought, wow, 18 months of eating chocolate cake. Yes, there is a God, you know? And the thing is you think we don't realize the things that impact our life and how they affect our physiology and our mental thinking and the way we operate in the world. So we want to know that, again, you want to think the kind of thoughts that affirm who you are, that encourage you, that not have to validate you. You're already validated, signed, sealed, delivered. You're it. You're it already. You are the absolute expression of God, the presence of God, and you are enough. And so it is. Thank you. Let's do a quick, thank you. Let's do some quick affirmations, okay? Some quick affirmations. I am the power of God expressing. The light of God is the light that shines my way. I am filled with fire, and that fire lights up my world. I am a child of God. Now look at your neighbor and say, you are a child of God. All is well in my world. And give yourself a big hug, and I hug myself every day, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. And now let's welcome up our fantastic singer, Lorena.
So I think you all know this song. Sing along with me. Put your hand in the hand of the man who still the water. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a look at yourself and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Every time I look into the holy book, I wanna tremble. When I read about the carpenter who he cleared the temple. For the buyers and the sellers are no different fellas than I profess to be. 'Cause I'm afraid to say I'm not the person that I should be. Oh, put your hand in the hand of the man. Sing, still the water. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a look at yourself and you can look at others differently. But putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Sing one more time. Put your hand in the hand of the man, still the water. Everybody, come on. Put your hand in the hand of the man, calm the sea. Take a look at yourself and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Hand in the hand of the man. Hand in the hand of the man. One more time. Hand in the hand of the man from Galilee.
All righty. This is the time of our offertory, of the sharing of our gifts. As we welcome our ushers coming down. Okay, let's repeat this beautiful affirmation up above. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. Here's me. He's so cute. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is, God is all there is. In the morning, grateful for the sunlight in this face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is, God is all there is. Wonderful. God is all there is. All right. I'm going to welcome up our practitioners and our ministers, and we're going to have a little closing prayer, and let's know right here and now, as we step out of this sanctuary, lifted and inspired, I'm counting on it, that we're going to hug ourselves every day. We're going to send our positive vibes to ourselves about self-love, right? We're going to love ourselves first and foremost, more than anyone, more than anything. Even maybe that stuffed animal you're holding on to. And we're going to know that God, by means of me and you and each of us, goes out into this world shining our light, as Dr. Moira says, splashing it all around, and knowing this truth that God is and I am. And I see a world filled with love and power and peace and beauty, and I'm a part of it and bringing it to fruition by my own means as well. And so it is. And now let's have our song. let's walk with each other in perfect